Today my mom and I will be showing you how to make pickled bean sprouts with chives and carrots. In Vietnamese we call it Dưa Giá. Last week mom and I showed you how to make caramelized pork belly with egg called thịt kho trứng. In my family, we always eat thịt kho trứng with these pickled bean sprouts. The crunchy texture of the bean sprouts and the tanginess of the pickling brine is just a perfect combination with the savory and sweet caramelized pork belly. Before we get going, let's go harvest some fresh chives. Look at my mom's chives. They are so healthy and delicious. In my opinion, homegrown vegetables and herbs are just the best. They taste amazing, and I'm sure they're also the healthiest since neither my mom nor I use any pesticides in our gardens. So here are all of our ingredients, and they are very simple. We have about 1 pound of fresh homegrown bean sprouts. I do have a video tutorial on how to grow your own bean sprouts in a strainer, so make sure to check that one out. I always remove the roots from the bean sprouts. It just looks better and more appetizing to me, but that's totally optional. We have a couple of shallots here. Traditionally, shallots are not included in this recipe, but we like the flavor as well as the color that it adds to this recipe. Here are the fresh chives that we just cut from my mom's garden. We also have 2 medium-sized carrots. For the brine, we have 3 cups of cold water, 1 cup of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 cup of sugar. We are using 1 cup of stevia in place of regular sugar today, and monk fruit would be a great substitute as well. It is important that you use cold water for the brine. The cold water is going to keep the vegetables crunchy. If you are using hot or warm water, your vegetables will be soft or even mushy, and that is not the texture we are going for. An easy way to remember this recipe is by its ratio: 1 part sugar, 1 part vinegar, 3 parts water, and the appropriate amount of salt. Okay, let's get started on prepping the vegetables. We cut the chives into 1.5 to 2 inches in length. Slice the shallots. You don't have to cut the shallots too thin. With a little thickness, they add a nice crunch. For the carrots, you can use a regular knife to cut them into matchstick size. We like to use this very inexpensive julienne peeler that you can get at any local Asian grocery stores to julienne your carrots. Now all of our vegetables are ready to go. Just look at these gorgeous colors. Let's go ahead and work on our pickling brine. This is 3 cups of cold water. Let's add our stevia sugar substitute and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. You can also use kosher salt. Now let's whisk it together and add our vinegar. Since we are using cold water to keep the vegetables crunchy, make sure you give this a nice whisk to dissolve all the sugar and the salt. Now all we need to do is add the vegetables into the brine. Initially, the brine may not be covering up all of the vegetables, and that is okay. The vegetables will lose some of its volume since the salt will draw out some of the water content. Just give the vegetables a nice stir from time to time to make sure all of the vegetables get a bit of the brine. Now leave this out in room temperature for about an hour. Taste test for yourself after 1 hour. The longer you let it sit in room temperature, the more it is going to take on the vinegary, tangy taste. So after the bean sprouts has achieved the level of pickling taste that you desire, put it into the refrigerator. By putting it in the refrigerator, it will stop the pickling process. So it's been about an hour. Our pickled bean sprouts are ready to be served as a side dish to our caramelized pork belly. The colors are just amazing to me. They're so pretty, and you can see how crunchy the bean sprouts are. This is so yum. To store them, I like to use these beautiful glass jars that I have disinfected with boiling water, and I let them air dry before using as well. You can store this jar for up to 2 weeks or even longer, as long as your glassware was disinfected properly. But I promise you, your bean sprouts will probably be eaten long before that. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed cooking with my mom and I. We love your support, so don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell. I have a new video coming out every Friday. See you next time.